Ребята, всем привет! Как у вас дела? Today we will learn how to ask questions in Russian. First of all, in Russian there are less rules for that than say in English. All you need to know is the following. In Russian you ask questions just with your intonation. There is no specific order or word order in the Russian sentence. And you can ask negative questions too. And you know, they won't sound rude in Russian. I'll explain all these points one by one. Let's start from the first one. In Russian, you ask questions just with your help of your intonation. There are no auxiliary verbs like in English, do, did, or have, and so on. So, all that you need is just a simple Russian sentence, like one of those that we have formed recently. So, can you remind me please, how you say I'm listening to you in Russian? I'm listening to you in Russian. Я слушаю тебя. Я слушаю тебя. Отлично. And now, how do you say I hear you? Я слышу тебя. Я слышу тебя. These two verbs sound pretty similar, so it's very important to not confuse them. Make sure you conjugate them right. And how do you say, are you listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня? Great. Now we will take this sentence and turn it into a question, right? Ты слушаешь меня. Ты слушаешь меня. This is a positive statement. For a question, your intonation will go up. Ты слушаешь меня? A common question is, how do I know in what part of a sentence my intonation should go up? Or which word in phrase in this sentence should I emphasize? The answer is, it depends on the context, on what you mean with your question, what you're trying to ask. If you're trying to find out if a person is listening to you or not, you will emphasize the word listen, слушать. Are you listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня? Ты слушаешь меня? If you're trying to find out, say, if the person listening to you or to someone else, you will emphasize the word me, меня. Ты слушаешь меня? Ты слушаешь меня? Oh, you're listening to me. Okay, and lastly, let's say you're in disbelief that the person is listening to you. This time you will emphasize the pronoun ты. Ты слушаешь меня? Oh, is it you who is listening to me? This situation is probably the weirdest of all, but I hope it still illustrates the point. So, in most cases, you must be using the first one. Are you listening to me? Ты слушаешь меня? Да? Ты слушаешь меня? Great. Now, how do you say you hear me? Ты слышишь меня. Ты слышишь меня. Let's say you are wondering if the person can hear you or not. How do you ask in Russian? Can you hear me? Or actually in Russian it will sound as do you hear me? Ты слышишь меня? Ты слышишь меня? Hope so. Надеюсь, да. Your intonation goes up. Awesome. Now, let's make a couple of questions with the verb говорить. How do you say, I'm talking to you? I'm talking to you. And first of all, which preposition are you using? Right, the preposition с. And it will rather sound as I'm talking with you. So, how do you say Я говорю с тобой? And now you are talking to me. Ты говоришь со мной. Now you're wondering, are you talking to me or to someone else? Ты говоришь со мной? Which part of the phrase are you emphasizing? Right, the part со мной. Are you talking to me or to someone else? Да. Ты говоришь со мной? Okay. What about this sentence? Ты говоришь со мной? Ты со мной говоришь? Со мной? Ты говоришь со мной? Have you noticed anything? It looks like you can switch words in the Russian sentence. And this is true. There is no specific order of words in Russian, unlike it is in English. So you can say ты говоришь со мной? Ты говоришь со мной? Or ты со мной говоришь? Ты со мной говоришь? And it will mean exactly the same. Only take into account that we are still emphasizing the same part, со мной, no matter where it is, in the middle of the sentence or in the end of the sentence. No matter. The same applies to the other phrases too. Ты слушаешь меня? You may sound as ты меня слушаешь? Again, the question is the same, and we will still emphasize the same word. Ты слышишь меня? Or ты меня слышишь? The same idea. If you'd like to practice some more, you can just rewind the video and repeat these phrases after me again, as many times as you need. So, though there are practically no rules and you can put words in Russian sentence wherever you want, it's still better to not to go too crazy with that. Sometimes when you put words in unusual order, the whole phrase or sentence can acquire a different tint. Say it may sound old or even a bit aggressive. For example, a person today may say «Ты меня слушаешь?» And the phrase «Меня слушаешь ты?» would sound like something said in the old times. So guys, before mixing words intentionally, you have to be aware of a slight tint of style or emotion you might be adding to the phrase. At the same time, take into account that other people may be doing it too. So don't be surprised or confused if you encounter an unusual order of words in Russian sentence. And lastly, in the Russian, you can ask negative questions too, without sounding rude. It might be a question like, couldn't you help me? And actually, this is how the polite could you help me sounds in Russian. Не могли бы вы мне помочь? Не могли бы вы мне помочь? Не могли бы вы мне помочь? The idea is that you are kind of accepting in advance that the person might not be able to help you. Does it make sense? I'll give you another example. Let's say you're asking your friend, have you seen the new movie yet? In Russian, you have two options, a positive and a negative one. You can say, ты уже смотрел новый фильм? Ты уже смотрел новый фильм? Here you kind of implying or guessing that your friend might have already seen this movie. And if you ask it in a negative way, ты еще не смотрел этот фильм? Ты еще не смотрел новый фильм? You're kind of hoping that they haven't yet. And very often, when talking to native Russian speakers, you may hear phrases like "You haven't seen it, right?" or "You haven't tried it, right?" You don't understand, right? And if you're a native English speaker, it might sound rude to you, and it would take some time to get used to the phrase like that in Russian. But the main idea is that from one hand, a person is asking you, and from another hand is making an assumption, a guess, a positive or negative one. Okay, so let's sum it up. Once again, in Russian, you make question just with the help of your intonation. There is no specific order of words in the Russian sentence. And you can make negative questions too, without sounding rude. Guys, that's it for today. На сегодня это все. Stay tuned. Увидимся. See you. Пока.